Let's move on to something that people are calling a massive joke in Cincinnati. We chatted yesterday, I think I said, or maybe 2 days ago.
Yeah, man.
Whenever the playoffs were trying to get sorted, I said like 3 weeks from now, 2 weeks from now, people are going to forget how serious the world was of football, of the NFL, the last couple of days. And they're going to say the NFL fucked this up with how they decided to figure out the seeding and everything like that. I said that's going to happen. We have to remember that this isn't a moment in time that we will all remember because of how serious and how traumatic it was to our entire NFL community. It was. It took over everything, every conversation. Every team was talking about it. So whatever the NFL did, we thought in a moment like, hey, let's get past this. They did what they had to do in the moment. Let's move on. Already, Cincinnati Bengals fans are pissed about the potential layout of what it could be if there's teams that haven't played the same amount of games. I'll let you dive into it all. For maybe like Indianapolis hosting a championship game or a coin toss for the Ravens and the Bengals, even though the Bengals, like, can you explain everything that's going on? And has this been voted to be true yet, or is this all still speculative stuff that could happen with the playoffs? I mean, sorry.
Okay, first of all, their owners right now, basically 12-1. So right now are discussing it. They are expected to vote. I would expect the Bengals to vote against it.
What is it?
Usually vote
what is
a
it?
lot of things.
Can you explain what it is?
Yes. So here's what it is. It's two parts. It is a potential neutral site game. Yeah, this graphic is actually really helpful. A potential neutral site game for the AFC title game if certain results happen this weekend. If the Bengals, Chiefs, or Buffalo isn't involved in the AFC title game. This is the simplest way I can say it. This depends only on the results of the Chiefs and Bills game. If they have the same result this weekend, then if they're in the AFC title game, it's at a neutral site. So if they win, they both win, or if they both lose, and then they get to the AFC title game, it's at a neutral site.
Got it.
If they both lose, and then Cincinnati beats the Ravens. It either a Buffalo or Cincinnati versus Kansas City AFC title game will be at a neutral site. And then there's the thing, so that's what's going on there. And the neutral site, we'll see, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's an outdoor neutral site. Because all these teams are outdoors.
No, Indianapolis, it's perfect. We're right here.
Weather controlled.
Heinz.
Don't be a fool.
I do like Indy. I will be there for the Combine in a couple weeks. Nice. Which is, wow, it's amazing.
Than a couple weeks.
But no, outdoors. Anyway.
Let's not, no, outdoors. You're saying that as a guarantee? It's not going to be a Lucas?
Not guaranteed, but I think they're going to try.
Try what?
That's dumb.
Real football, you know?
Whoa.
Oh, you know.
Try to find a good spot outdoors.
Who won the Super Bowl last year?
I don't know where, but it would be, I'll tell you the coolest thing for me, and this is just my own personal opinion. Pittsburgh is outdoors. Pittsburgh's hosted big games.
Hell
it's
yeah.
An awesome stadium. It's where DeMar Hamlin is from. That would be kind of cool.
That would be sweet. I mean, miserable for kickers, punters, quarterbacks, everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
The game itself.
Right.
Yeah, quarterbacks and everything like that.
Yeah.
I love Pittsburgh. Hey, listen, if it goes to Pittsburgh, we probably get a suite anyway. We're probably at that one as well if it goes to Pittsburgh, so we're with it. So we're good. It's going to be a Pittsburgh or Indy. Here we go.
Hell yeah, going down short.
We're going to be at the AFC Championship game.
Right.
Can't wait.
Hell yeah.
Either way, we're going Super Bowl.
Let's go. I'll see you
And
guys
then we're going.
No, Pittsburgh's going Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So here's why Cincinnati's mad.
Yes.
That was Zach Taylor.
Cincinnati is mad because they win the AFC North. And if they lose to the Ravens this week, they will still be winners of the AFC North, despite the fact that the Ravens beat them twice because the Bengals have played one fewer game. So even though all that happens, if they lose to the Ravens this weekend, they have to flip a coin to see who gets home field. And they are mad because there are rules, as Zach Taylor just said, and this is basically an alteration to the rules. It also might have make them play a harder schedule next year. Because they won. I mean, there's a lot of things that it has affected that make it harder for them because they won the North, but they don't automatically get home field. That is why they're mad.
So, okay, I understand that. I didn't know. Thank you for explaining that to me, and I needed that to be explained to me because I didn't fully comprehend why they're so mad. You said Zach Taylor just came on TV and said that there are rules. Mm-hmm. He said that was Joe Mixon's tweet pretty much as well, the running back from the Bengals.
Yeah.
So we're not following the rules no more, is what Mixon said. And then 2 screenshots of the actual rule book where it kind of lays out the situation that we're currently in.
Yeah.
But it also says commissioner has authority. Like the commissioner has the authority to kind of do whatever. I did not know that that's why they were upset about the Ravens beating them twice. So if the Bengals lose to the Bills on Monday Night Football, and I know they were up 7-3.
Yes.
I know they were up 7-3. Football 7-3. Obviously, that's that's
Big deal.
That game's over.
Game over.
That game is over.
It was
Obviously.
only there were like 8 minutes left in the first quarter, so it was.
So I understand that game's over, and the Bengals were definitely going to beat the Buffalo Bills that night with Josh Allen and all the weapons. Not saying that the Bengals aren't fucking awesome. We love the Bengals, but just assuming that the Bengals are going to win that game because it was 7-3 in the first quarter and driving. They were driving on that particular play.
Yeah.
Got it. Maybe field goal, maybe touchdown. 10-3. We'll say 14-3, whatever. And that is obviously game over. I mean, in the NFL, is how the Bengals are acting. But if the Bengals lose that game, and then they lose to the Ravens week 18, Ravens win AFC North, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that is correct. Yes. And then of course in Cincy, you're right. In Cincy's mind, they're like, well, we didn't lose. Like we might have won and probably would have won. So, and this is the problem. Is like
Probably.
we could
I don't-
argue.
it's the
Like if
Buffalo
I'm
Bills.
sitting there
Yeah.
with Bengals people, I could argue. I could argue all of these things. There's no good answer. The whole thing is annoying.
We
It's
agree.
Unfortunate for a lot of reasons.
But we all, I thought, were in the.
Unprecedented.
I thought we were all in the same boat. Like, hey, what's going on is just. It'd be tough to explain to anybody what is happening right now in the future. If people look back on this decision, it'll be difficult to tell them what it was like to see somebody potentially die on a football field on prime time,
Yeah.
week 17, in the biggest game of the year, pretty much. Like, it's gonna be tough to explain how people reacted afterwards. You know, it is a real thing. So, I don't understand why the Bengals fans are so mad. Now, granted, they beat the Bills, which they might have done, and Rappaport saying probably would have done. I'm not going to say that completely, although I love the Bengals. I think they're very fucking good. But that game, if that game's a tie, if they rule that game a tie, and then they lose to the Ravens,
Still win the division.
the Bengals would win?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's why they're pissed.
Yeah, and I think it's just because the no home playoff game. Like the possibility of that still being the division winner just doesn't really add up.
That's right.
But the Ravens are saying they could still win the division, right? Weren't they thinking that going into last weekend?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
They were still potentially thinking about winning the North. So
Yes.
Yeah, if it was 7-3 Bills when the game stopped, much different conversation.
it was so early in the
Yeah,
game.
so early.
It's fascinating. It is. Because I can see why the Bengals fans are pissed. I could see, but also, like, from a zoomed out standpoint, it's like, this is a tough.
1-1.
I didn't expect them to do all of this, though. Did you expect them to do all of this? I thought it was just going to be a coin toss. Let's move on. Like, this feels like a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot. And I would say, like, to me, if you had said yesterday, which I think you probably did, I said what I was expecting was this game to be canceled and then it to just kind of be what it was. They worked, I mean, it sounded like hours and hours and hours of meeting with Mike North, the schedule dude, and a lot of high-ranking executives to try to figure out every freaking scenario. And, like, it was a lot. And I got this, just being honest, I got this email last night, and I had to go on TV like 15 minutes later, and I was like, how am I going to explain this? It was a lot.
Why?
Yeah, I did a great job, but it was a lot. And, you know, but I think they tried really hard to make it as fair as possible. And, like, if this ends with a neutral site game, then I think that's okay because it kind of is annoying to everyone, but it's not unfair to anyone either.
Agreed. It seems like they did way too much. Why didn't they just do this? And we just thought about it now. They're still in the meeting. Why don't you give a call over there? It should be a best of 5 coin toss. Cincinnati should be up 1-0.
Ooh.
That'd be perfect.
You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So you got to get to 3. Cincinnati's already got 1.
That makes sense.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. And
Well, how about this? How about paper scissors?
Best of 5, and since
Then
he's
it's
already
some
got
skill
1,
involved.
and then
Best of 5.
yeah, you can pick
and
a
since
player.
he's already got 1, right? Since he's already got 1 because they were up 7-3.
You know there's one player who's, like, really good at this.
Joe
yes.
versus Josh.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there are very skilled rock paper scissors folks. For instance, Ty as Sirianni cooked Sirianni as Sirianni.
Correct.
Sirianni does it in his combine meetings to see how competitive the person is.
Oh, yeah.
They should have done something like that, and then it doesn't even involve
Right.
everything else going on. I don't think. Fascinating world. We appreciate you covering it. We have a couple more questions quickly before you have to get out of here. Jalen Hurts is a go, it
Go
sounds
ahead.
like.
You're good.
Giants are resting players. Jalen Hurts is a go.
Jalen Hurts is ago, Giants are resting players. I could see a quicker sort of hook or whatever for the Eagles if this gets out of hand. Get them off the field, get a big win. We'll see. Giants are kind of scrappy, though, so I don't know if that's going to be the case, but resting guys with nothing to gain. So, yes, that's where they're going with that.